What's up, my comic book brothers and my comic book sisters from another mister? Today we're going to do a comic book review of The Scorched, issue number 12, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. Before we get into the issue, we're just going to sum up the previous issue real quick. The Scorched team have been captured by the curse, while Medieval Spawn travels to Limbo to earn the trust of Soul Crusher. We begin with this narration. Some monsters lay in the dark for years. They wait for you to think they're safe, they enjoy it, studying you, planning, knowing that one day they will emerge, and it'll be like an assassin's bullet through your soul. Their curse is one such monster having to capture all the spawns. She Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, Hunt, all minus Medieval Spawn, Soul Crusher, and Spawn. He's watched Spawn, he studied the Scorched. Long before all this, he was Philip Kron, a boy whose entire life would be devoted to God. And we see that boy listening to the sermon here. And that pastor is talking about there will be a point where you must return that favor to Christ who sacrificed himself. Because the Lord who comes in the end of times will not be the sweet Christ of the New Testament who took everyone in his arms. No, it'll be the Lord of the Old Testament, the one bringing fire and brimstone. Why when he said brimstone, I thought of brimstone from King Spawn in the last issue. And he continues with the sermon, the one with vengeance, the one demanding your servitude. So the only question is, do you want your neck against his sword, or do you want to be with the rest of his army behind it, victorious? And the question was how that young Philip kept asking himself for months as his obsession grew. How can God see this boy's willingness to go to war for him? And he says in his room, forgive me, Lord, for my sins. Now that I'll walk with you as my guide. God doesn't bless those who find an easy way to him. God blesses those that submit and suffer. And he submits to that suffering by injecting his eye, both of his eyes, with that needle. And with that, Philip died and the curse was born. He explains that his eyes were given to the priest as a gift, a show of his faith. Within a year, the whole congregation went from thinking he was disturbed to believing in his purpose, because he could see the Hellspawn's kind, the darkness in the world. He saw how they maneuvered and planned, and he saw that they got more arrogant. But you went public like Simmons. That's when I started praying against as the curse. Studying the path, Christian magic, the verses. I also studied you guys and how you could lose. The secret was Simmons, the same man who took my arm in the battle years ago. His cockiness is now yours, and I'm gonna take everything from you guys. Meanwhile, in Limbo, Soul Crusher was facing his own crisis of faith as we see Medieval Spawn going ham, slicing and dicing. We must get to the exit, says Medieval Spawn. We must put aside our differences and save the Scorched. And keep in mind in the previous issue, Medieval Spawn murdered Soul Crusher's friend Natasha from the previous issue, thinking she was Plague Spawn. You can see the previous issues for that. It was covered in detail. And by the way, if you're just joining this channel for the first time, like the video, subscribe to this channel for more comic book reviews and comic book content like this. We also do an occasional comic book giveaway as well. But with all that being said, let's get back into the content. The portal closes. Soul Crusher exits and asks what's next, and Medieval Spawn's like, we have to travel to the curse's base and we go to war. And Soul Crusher's like, will we get there in time? I don't think we'll get there in time. And Medieval's like, yo man, I've already taken care of that. And by that, he has the Uber ride of dragon Medieval style, you know? And Soul Crusher's like, of course you're a freaking dragon. Look man, there'll be time to explain all this later. Let's go, let's ride. And it ain't the kind of riding that Russell Wilson's doing right now with the Denver Broncos. It's a different kind of ride. The ride where Dubs and that ass is gonna get kicked. Meanwhile, in the lab, the curse has the scientists open the deprivation chambers, freeing the Scorched from the nightmares he chained them to. A suggestion that seems mad. And the scientist is like, what the hell is he doing? Why'd he let him go? And the other scientist is like, it's just the last test. Are you sure you were safe behind these walls? And Soul Crusher goes on, they think I'm insane, but I have my faith. My army is going to burn you and your kind to the ground when you fall. And Soul Crusher continues, let's see what's more powerful, your darkness or my faith. Or you could just give up your daughter now, Jessica. Just mind messing with her. You'll never touch her, says She Spawn. Is that right, says Soul Crusher. My father said the same thing right before I killed my mother. And Soul Crusher continues. Families are fake. We're born into them and then feel like we owe them something. But God, we come to. God is a choice. He led me to you to draw you into a fight you can't win, says Soul Crusher. A gunslinger takes out his gat. You talk a lot, says Gunslinger. And one of the Sin Devourers like, attack defender creature haunt motion detected. Automation, protocol kicking in. You're all weak. All of you, says Soul Crusher. He's been prepared for this. And Gunslinger's like, nah, bro, I want some more. I thought you wanted a test. Your confidence is still human, says Soul Crusher. And yet, you're a monster. Let him up, says Soul Crusher. And Sin Devourer has no choice but to release Gunslinger Spawn. You want to go back in time, cowboy? Is that it? Trying to fix the things you broke? Heal the people you hurt? Sorry, that's not gonna happen. Curse mocks him. That and pity are not things that sit well with Gunslinger Spawn. You talk too much and you know too much, says Gunslinger Spawn. Sidestepping the attack and proud of himself, he doesn't realize Gunslinger was trying to get behind him where the blade catches his throat, a blow that would end most humans instantly. He knows he needs to stop the bleeding or he's dead. All he has are his electrical wires from his Sin Devourers. He burns them to the wound and hopes they'll be enough. How's that faith holding up, says Gunslinger Spawn. Hey yo, I love that clap back right there. Though the onslaught is far from over. Devourer steps in and unleashes his flame, toasting Gunslinger Spawn. Yo, that is a spawn burnt, well done right there. Creature Gunslinger Spawn neutralized, says Sin Devourer. In Curse's mind, needing reinforcements is a loss, but he puts his pride away. Pride is what he sees as the failings of those hill spawns. He must be better than them. Besides, he likes seeing the anguish on their faces as their hope for victory slips away. And they're about to lose and they know it. And he lets out another piece of dollar, just rubbing it in their face like alcohol on the wound, just about to be defeated. Let me tell you a story about a man named Al. He loses his wife and battles his way through heaven and hell. Years later, he sees an opportunity to use everyone he knows to get this woman back. But he'll have to open the gates to demons and angels so he can get what he wants. And he's talking about the dead zones. And he did do that in King Spawn, in which we did cover that issue too. It's why he needed to build an army of pawns. He needed you as pawns to sacrifice. Enough of this, says Jessica Priest. She's had enough of this. I'm speaking, says the curse. You're demons. I will bring you to heal. And he slams her down. Submit. Stay down. And don't you dare get back up or as that ass is going to be glued to the ground. You're also soldiers. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use you guys. And he blasts away Hunt. Hunt believes he's about to unleash a sneak attack behind the curse, but that's not going to happen as the curse blasts him away. And the lab rats are like, I'm amazed. All this research, it works. He can beat them. And if he can beat them, he can control them. He'll make them Jesus, and he'll be their god. I mean, that's kind of like what the fill in the sentence or fill in the blank is talking about, right? But Medieval Spawn always had a plan, one that even Curse couldn't have predicted. Curse trembles, for as much as he studied these monsters, he never prepared for this as Medieval Spawn and Soul Crusher ambush and infiltrate in the scene, and they're ready to come in. They come in hungry, all with that smoke. Take out the machine, says Soul Crusher, and he blasts them away, and Medieval Spawn is just slashing and dashing away. With the arrival of Medieval Spawn and Soul Crusher, their victory is swift, vicious, and undeniable. That ass is mine. Tell your mama to save me a plate. Well, she technically can't do that because he did kill his own mother. That's just, come on now, you know we hungry.
Like I said, we hungry.
After that victory, Gunslinger Spawn looks at the curse. He's like, yo, man, I'm going to kill that guy right now. And Medieval Spawn's like, no, wait, he has intel. We need that intel first, then we'll kill him. The curse is defeated. His Sin Devourers nothing but broken toys. His funding and government support are fleeing that very minute. They're done. You've been abandoned, says She Spawn. And they all look at him and they all circle him like, yo, you gonna answer some questions before we decide to let you go. And he's like, I haven't been abandoned, not by my lord, says the curse. So who do you all bow to? The insinuation is clear. Spawn put this team together. He wasn't one to be their general. Yet 1 year later, they're battered and beaten with little direction, something that needs to be changed. And Spawn appears silently out of the shadows. They answer to me. And you know this storyline takes place after King Spawn events. I mean, I love how all these storylines are in parallel, but that is the end of this issue of The Scorched, issue number 12. You know what? I just love the ending of this, and I don't know if this is the end of the story arc, but I love to see where this is continuing to go. Just the fact that these Hell Spawns, minus Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and Soul Crusher were all captured by the curse. I mean, it leaves one to, there's got to be a lot more story where this came from and who is the bigger puppet pulling his strings, and I'm loving where this story is going to go. Link in the description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, The Scorched, issue number 12. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy, don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Also, don't forget to check out our website, RatedComics.com, for some amazing comic books and really cool Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Last but not least, this review is sponsored by coffee, so if you'd like to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking the video and subscribing to this channel. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.